I don't have an ad blocker, so you're just going to have to suck it up. Welcome to the wild-focused mini-set review by me, one Schmoopydady. In case it's the first time you're watching one of these mini-set reviews, I'm a monthly Hearthstone Wild Legend player who typically hits Legend first of the month, and after that I goof off. When I goof off, I play your decks, and I am often forced to play some of these cards, even when more meta people do not want to play them, and I'm also usually playing decks that lose against them. So this is sort of going to be sort of my perspective on how they play in Wild, and maybe with a little bit of, like, since I sort of dabble in Arena off stream, a little bit of how I think they're going to play out in Arena. Let's start with the first card, Finality. Draw an Undead, imbue your hero power twice. It's worth actually starting with the Death Knight imbue. First Undead, you play each turn, gains +1 attack. I think, given how strong and relevant Elise is right now, copying a 1/1 charger and making a 5/5 or a 10/10 is too valuable to just give up. Especially when I think the best things that I think Death Knight is doing in Wild right now is spending corpses and ramping up Climactic Necrotic Explosion. You'll notice that a lot of the really good, or at least the best Death Knight decks right now are, weirdly enough, Rainbow. Everybody's trying to make Rainbow work. And most of the time when people are trying to make Rainbow work, they're either following the fad or they're trying to make Climactic Necrotic Explosion work. We have so many efficient corpse spenders now. We've got Foam Render, we've got Maw and Paw, we've got Pterodax, we've got, like, we have a bunch. We have a bunch, basically. And I cast last night. I cast a 21 damage Climactic Necrotic Explosion yesterday to finish off the game. So, like, if you keep just like ramping it up, and making corpses and making chargers and getting the chip damage, and you're gonna get there. And this feels like it's doing the opposite of that. Do we have some things like Hallowhound and No Muncher that we could throw these down and be like, yeah? But it says first Undead, which is like, first is first Undead. Second thing, it's play. This hero power, the way I tried to describe it yesterday was, this hero power feels so bad. It feels like it's at the same power level as, like, the previous, like, bad expansions we had in Standard that were sort of uninteresting because of, like, I don't know if it was the design or just it just wasn't very good. I don't know. I'm not a big fan of this hero power. I'm sure people are going to give me imbue DK all the time, and it's going to tilt me. I'm going to fucking curse them out. But I don't think this is very good. It's not something that I'm looking forward to playing at all. That being said, Finality, I'm kind of ignoring the imbue your hero power twice part. And the part that says draw an undead, 3 mana, draw a tutor, specifically something that might, like an undead that might, I don't know what combo you might use it for. DK is notable in that it's a class that hasn't really had a combo deck in its existence yet. I mean, Boogerworm has done some things where it's like, he's fried people's CPUs with, like, an infinite amalgam, poisonous, threads crap. But, being able to actually, like, tutor something that you might want to then enable a combo, I could see Finality seeing some play in the future eventually. Bygone Echoes, summon a random 4 cost, spend 4 corpses, summon another, outcast, and another. It's a lot of stats for 5 mana. It looks like the kind of card that kind of breaks Arena, but in Wild. Unless you, like, guaranteed that these 4-drops had taunt, I don't think it sees any real play. But I think it's the kind of card that you draft, like, 3 copies of in Arena and people fucking hate you. Remnant of Rage. Okay, so this is dual class, both DH and DK. It's a 7 mana 6/5. It draws 2 cards, and it costs 1 less for each minion that died this turn. Initially, I was looking at this in Pirate DH because Pirate DH is starved for draw. We're still trying to play Magnifying Glaive. We're still trying to make Magnifying Glaive work. We make lots of tokens. Sometimes we have to trade those tokens. I see Remnant of Rage at least getting a look at in Pirate DH. At least that's where I would start with it first. If it sucks, it doesn't shock me, but I think we try it just to start. Because sometimes trading off your dinky little 1/1s and maybe killing an opponent's minion or two, and then dropping this bad boy makes a lot of sense to me. In DK, we have mining casualties. So if you play mining casualties on 2, trade off all the mining casualties, and nothing else dies, you can play this on 3 as a 3-mana 6/5 that draws 2 cards. That doesn't seem like it sucks. How consistently can you make that play? That's the part that's like a little bit dicey. So I think this card is like, it might be one for the future. I don't think it totally sucks, even though it might suck right now. I still think that it's like good enough. We look at it, we sniff it, we give it a shot. Wicked Blightspawn. This is the card I'm really excited for in DK, shockingly enough. Reborn, Death Rattle, equipped a 1/2 dagger. If you already have a weapon equipped, give it +2 attack instead. I think we play this in... I think we play this card in one of our Highlander DKs. I think we try to slap this sucker on a foam render. I think maybe we think about copying it. At worst, it makes our foam render a 9/1 that it goes for infinite. Like a Pyroblast every turn is insane. If you can copy it and now you're talking about like, you know, +4 on a foam, +8 on a foam render, 13 every turn. That's pretty gross too. Oh, it's also Rogue. I don't see its application in Rogue. I don't. Maybe in Standard, but I can't really speak to Standard. The weapon's also Rogue, right? 3 mana, 3/2, Battlecry, imbue your hero power. I like this better in Rogue than in Death Knight. Death Knight, again, I think the hero power is crap. But this is kind of cute in Rogue. I can't wait for a weapon Rogue. I love Standard when there's a weapon Rogue. I usually play it well. Enduring Roach. After you, this is dual class Druid and Demon Hunter, but we're on the Demon Hunter cards now. After you use your hero power, refresh 2 mana crystals. Insert Fellfire, Dreadeye, and Kurtrus. Whatever the hero card Kurtrus is called, and like, you know, and some chargers and a mark deck, and like, I don't know what we're gonna try and do with this. I think just on curve it's kind of okay, right? Like, what if it's just a spider tank that you play on 4 and you hero power, and like maybe you also play like a 1-drop behind it? I don't know. It doesn't seem like it totally sucks. I could see this seeing play. It's Dark Glare, right? It's Dark Glare in classes that don't usually have Dark Glare. So people will be lamenting it's not even, but man, Roach's potential. I see potential. Like, I'm not going to poo-poo this. I could see this being really annoying. Press the advantage. Deal 1 damage. Give your hero +1 attack. Draw 1 card. +1 armor. That's a lot for 2 mana. That's a lot of value for 2 mana. Basically, you can kill a 2/2. Yes, you're using your face, but you kill a 2/2, you cycle for 1, you gain 1 armor. I could see this being a 1-of in some decks, just as like a, I don't know what we're going to put in here, but let's just throw it in here. I think this is a card that's going to be hard to evaluate until you sit down and you play with it. And I think when we play with it, it's going to feel better than it looks on paper. When it looks on paper, everything's a 1. You're kind of like, but it's a lot of keywords. It's a lot of keywords. Chronocar, Battlecry. Give your hero +3 attack this turn, next turn, and the turn after. Crazy value. The 3/5 body's not insignificant. It seems like it's nice for like a going down swinging Warglaive deck to like set up damage beforehand. That seems like that could be pretty okay. So I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all. Bygone Echoes in DH. Kind of the same, I think, for DK. I might play this in like a spell, honestly, in like spells only. In spells only DH, I might play this. Like just as like another way to make a board, and just like keep making boards. It doesn't get repeated by Jace or any of the Fell Boys, but at the same time, it's kind of like, I think maybe that's okay. And Remnant of Rage, we've already talked about. I think this could have a home in Pirate DH, but that's going to take some testing, and it's still going to be like towards the top of the cards you're chopping out and changing anyway. I don't think it's going to make or break the list. Druid. Splintered Reality. Summon 2 treants. They gain +1/+1 for each friendly treant that died this game. Okay. As somebody that has played a lot of Treant Druid, I do not think it makes the lower curve aggro Treant Druid list. That being said, I think in the imbue list that is by nature slower, maybe you sniff at this. This is one of the cards that I think, like, I don't think it gets in the list. I think 4 mana is way too much. At the same time, it's like, we don't necessarily... What if this is the failsafe to make sure we don't die to a single board clear? What if this then cracks back and punishes that board clear? I wouldn't play it. I wouldn't play it personally, but I would try it in the imbue list. I think it's the kind of card that we like if we discover it and it has relevance, but I don't really see it. Twilight Time Reaver, choose one. Set the attack of all minions to 1 or the health to 1. It's a Paladin and Druid card. Gonna be nuts in Arena. I think it's kind of mid and constructed. I think 6 mana is too much for this effect. We could play Equality, right? Or, I mean, Druid's got better things to do with their mana. I think it's fine. It's going to be like one of those cards you see in Arena, and it's going to be an absolute kick to the nards. In Constructed, at least in Wild, I don't really see it unless you're absolutely forcing it. Acceleration Aura. I saw people freak out about this and then subsequently say, like, wait, it's worse Wild Growth. At the start of your turn, gain a temporary mana crystal, lasts 3 turns. This includes the first turn you play it, so it actually is only going to be affecting for 2 turns. It's basically worse Wild Growth. Because Wild Growth, you get the Mistle permanently. This, you don't get the crystal permanently at all. So it's not going to see any play in Druid, I don't think. But it might see plenty of play in Paladin, because Paladin doesn't really have access to that kind of effect. You play this on 2, you can play your Nas on turn 3. Might not be bad. Trail Mix but separated. This is so much worse than Trail Mix. No. Guys, this is not Trail Mix. This is so much worse than Trail Mix. Because what you're trying to hit, the effects you're trying to hit gotta be better. I don't know. I don't see it in Druid, period. Maybe it finds a home in Paladin. I could see it possibly finding a home in Paladin. Press the advantage, I think we talked about already. But the effect is 3 turns. The effect is 2 turns. You play, it's just like, what's the aura that's a spell tax? It's just like the spell tax aura. It says 3 turns, but effectively, it's only really doing something for 2 turns. Because it counts the first turn. The quest? I think the quest is terrible. Quest, fill your hand, then empty it, and then you get tick-tock, draw until your hand is full, death rattle, empty your opponent's hand. I think this is terrible. Okay, so let's just say we do this the right way. And we fill up our hands, and then we discard our hands. All right, ways we could do that quickly. There's Hunters. There is the Beast Pack, right? What is it? Was it Rexar's Gift? No, not Rexar's Gift. The temporary pact, right? Like, you rip it and you get a bunch of temporary beasts. So we could fill our hand pretty easily that way and then get rid of all our cards, dump our cards, whatever. It's Hunter, right? Warlock, we can do Tome Tampering. Let's say you do this the right way. When you empty your hand on the back end of it, Wilderness Pack, thank you. When you empty your hand on the back end, Tick-Tock is going to be the only card in your hand, which means it can get ratted, Theotard, Mutanist. I think if we're doing anything, we're doing this in Warlock. I'm not necessarily impressed and thinking that that is even worth doing. This is a situation, chat. I've done this in the past where I've talked about like deck building mistakes or deck building no-nos. And one of the issues with deck building no-nos is wild players fixate on the wrong things. They start fixating on things that aren't powerful and decide that they are going to make them work and it's going to be worth doing. And like, no, this is the right way to do this. But this that they want to do sucks. This, I think, sucks. This is the one saving grace I can say for this. You can build a Warlock deck so that when you're discarding your hand, things happen. You draw cards, you deal damage, you can choke all and get stuff back. Like, the discard part actually works in Warlock. The Hunter part, it's super weird. I think this sucks. Worth mentioning that I think this should work with Finley. When you play Finley, the way that Finley works... the way that Finley interacts with Howdy Fin, when Howdy Fin is on your board and you Finley puts Murlocs into your hand as if, even if you've got like 10 cards and you Finley, Howdy Fin starts putting cards, starts putting Murlocs into your hand as if your hand is empty. So Sir Finley Sea Guide should satisfy the back end of the quest, which would help with the disruption part of the Theatar, the Rat, the Mutanus, your Tick and Tock are not going to be isolated. That being said, I think the effect sucks. And it's not worth it. Chrono Claws. Chrono Claws, I think, is the best card in the set. I think that Chrono Claws, if it existed when Discard Warlock was the best deck in the format, it would have completely changed how we... Well, I shouldn't say this. Discard Warlock was like a 25, 26 card deck, and we're like, we fill in whatever for the back end. This would have shored up the back end. If we're playing Chrono Claws in Discard Warlock, you just swing the entire time. I think we play it in Burnlock. I think we have to think about how we're building Burnlock in order for Chrono Claws to fit. And I think we make Chrono Claws fit in Burnlock, not the other way around. We're playing Leper Gnomes, we're playing Sizzlers. We have to end up shaping the deck around this card because this card is good enough to actually make it work. This card might actually make people try Discard Warlock, which personally right now, I don't think Discard Warlock is that bad a deck. The problem you have is no one's playing it because it's nerfed to hell and nobody wants to try it. But I think it's probably like sort of playable. Is Hand of Gul'dan okay? No. Hand of Gul'dan will never be okay as long as we're doing Merchant and as long as we're doing Soul Barrage. Like, that's it. If this gets Soul Barrage nerfed, I'm all for it. Like, yeah, I would have nerfed Soul Barrage like 2 years ago. So I'm okay with that. As much as I love Burnlock, I'd be okay with that. This card's nuts. In Hunter, I think I don't know what we're doing with it in Hunter. I think that the green half is completely ignorable. It's just busted on the purple half. Like, it truly busted. Triennium Rex. Kindred and Death Rattle. Get a random Death Rattle minion. It costs 2 less. Sounds like a nutty arena card, especially when the pool is really small. Does not look like a constructed card to my eye. You know when this card might be good? This card might be good on rotation in Standard if the options for that you get randomly are nuts. Brutish Enmaw, nutty arena card. It's not even worth discussing for constructed. Flanking Strike 2.0, but kind of worse because you have to have something on board in order for it to do things. We're not playing Flanking Strike. Oh, I guess it's to an enemy. It doesn't even have to be an enemy minion. It goes face. I don't know, Jacques, what do you think about this thing? I think it's mid, but if you're like, no, I try it, I like it. I guess if you're always ahead on board and it just helps you push more damage. This is a fireball tech. If it dies, an enemy. So you have to kill the enemy. Well, technically it's like, what if it was like Flanking Strike? I think it's bad. I'm going to stop thinking about it. Flames of Infinity. When your enemy's turn ends, deal infinite damage to their highest health minion. Would I play this in Secret Mage back in the day? I might. It like puts you even further ahead on tempo. The thing is, like, whatever your opponent drops, it's gonna die. Probably, unless it has Divine Shield. I don't like Secret Mage isn't really relevant right now. Weirdly enough, when Holy Wrath was being played, it was a little bit more relevant. OTK with Brain Masseuse? Well, Brain Masseuse only has 3 health now, so like it's a lot harder to snipe the Brain Masseuse than it was. This is fine. You're gonna see people try it in Secret Mage. I don't think it belongs anywhere else outside of that. Fragment of Nothing. Can we just take a moment and just like pay attention to this card? After you cast a spell on a minion, not even this minion, on a minion, draw a card. So I guess if you target a minion, we have a freaking 4-mana Auctioneer. I am very scared of this card. It's a little bit like you can let's say we do Elemental Evocation, play this for 2 mana, and then start playing First Flames and Freeze Rays on the opponent's shit, and we're drawing cards the entire time. Kind of nuts. Kind of nuts. Eternal Firebolt. I like this a lot in a Reno Mage. Lifesteal, deal 3 damage to a minion. If it dies, return this to your hand at the end of your turn. And people are saying, no, Shmoopy. It's gonna fuck up your Romath. I don't care if it messes up my Romath. I'm half the time I'm winning with Reno Mage, not going infinite anyway. They've given health drink to Reno Mage. I think health drink in Reno Mage is good. One of the issues that Mage has now is we can gain armor and we can prevent damage and we can freeze board, but we can't heal efficiently outside of Reno. This gives me really efficient healing. I think this is actually kind of good, to be real. This seems kind of nuts. Bitter End. Yeah, okay, great call. Okay, Eternal Firebolt and Reno Big Spell Mage for real. Oh, yeah. Like, you don't... Okay, it's nice when you get Block repeated or Alibi or Frost Nova repeated, but half the time you're spraying around a bunch of damage anyway. Eternal Firebolt in that deck? Hell yes. Early healing to get to the late game when you start just dropping like damage bombs over and over again. I think this is an awesome card. Bitter End. Freeze a minion and its neighbors. Destroy any that are damaged. Yeah, sure, fine. I think this is nice to discover off a discount. I don't know if I'm playing this on purpose. What's going on, Tom? Time Twisted Seer has spell damage +2 while damaged. What's cute about this is we also have the Ethereal Aug Merchant, which deals damage to a minion and gives it gives it spell damage. So for 2 mana, you can get +3 spell damage. That's kind of fun. I don't know if we're going to have like a real meta spell damage mage, but there will definitely be an off meta deck that takes advantage of this. And like we could do the Imprisoned Phoenixes too, and we can have some fun with it. And you can scam some games for sure. And it's a dragon, which is kind of cute. And it's a Dire Mole, which is also kind of cute. So I don't know. There's a lot of I think this card is going to see some play, probably on the fringe, probably on my stream, probably in the hipster crowd, but like that's fine. Hand of Infinity. Can't attack heroes. Battle cry. Set this weapon's attack to infinity this turn. There are so many bad OTKs that I'm already seeing come out that actually look close enough to be kind of scary. Like you could do dumb shit like play what is it? What is the Corsair? Oh, whatever. There's a whole copy pasta about it. It gains the pirate that gains attack equal to your weapon. You play it. You play the new ooze that takes its stats and makes it a 2-mana spell. You throw down a boar. You throw the spell on top of the boar, and now you can go face. Like that sounds like a bad combo because it's like too many cards, but it's also not that hard to pull off. You could conceivably see a deck including those cards just like on the off chance the stars align and you can actually like do something with this. You could also like trade into anything with this weapon and kill it, as long as it doesn't have like Divine Shield. Seems pretty good. Silas Ashtongue is the cheapest, is it? Yeah, we could Silas Ashtongue, I guess. That's 3 cards. That's really not that hard to do. And like considering we've got Showdown Beam and stuff in Paladin, that's not that bad. Brutish Endmaw sucks. It is worth mentioning, by the way, that Brutish Endmaw in some pools in Arena could possibly go infinite. You could go Scarab into like Creature of Madness, into Brutish Endmaw, into Scarab, into Creature of Madness, into Brutish Endmaw, into Scarab, into Creature of Madness, into Enma, and you could just go in like a little infinite loop in Arena of value, which is like pretty funny to me. Synchronized Spark, like if you told me Schmoopy people will play this card, like all right, fine. I don't necessarily think it's like, I don't think it's very good. This we've already said is too expensive, but it will troll me. This Zach was saying in chat, you could cast Call to Arms 1 turn earlier with this. Fair enough. All right, Priest. Wings of Eternity. Discover a dragon from the past and give it a dark gift. Crazy arena card. Dog shit and constructed. It's not Shadow. I don't think it does anything for questline Priest. It's just kind of like random value. If you want to play like a Casino Priest, okay. I don't think it's very good. 4 all time. Destroy all minions with 4 attack or less. Overload 2. I think this is a crazy Shaman card. Like Big Shaman loves this so much. And I think Priest it'll see some Priest and play in Priest too. Some people are saying, no, why would you play it in Priest? It's Overload 2, so your turn 5 play has to be a turn 3 play. I don't know. Like, this gets rid of a lot of pirate boards that like have been hosened. So if you really want to get rid of some hosen boards, I think you play 4 all time. I think this clear is okay. Voodoo Totem. End of your turn, get a random shadow spell. This is both Shaman and Priest. The shadow spell pool isn't great. That being said, it's a 4 health totem and it's even Shaman. I think you play the 4 health totem and even Shaman. That's what I think. Fragment of Nothing, we've already talked about. I think in Priest, it's also going to be good. Can you imagine hitting Power Word Shield on this puppy and drawing... and drawing 2 cards, and then just you keep going? I Fragment of Nothing spooks the shit out of me. Eternal Firebolt. Questline Priest might use it. I think Questline Priest would use it. It furthers the quest line. It's a 3. It's early removal. It's survival. I think it's pretty good. Rugi. Deal 2 damage, imbue your hero power. The rogue in hero power is get a random minion from another class. It costs 1 less. I don't think that's the worst thing in the world. This could be a Velarok proc, and if we just lean into like infinite value in Thief Priest and go XL and just go a little bit more control-y, I think this could be kind of okay. I like the Rogue Imbue way more than I like the DK Imbue. I'll give you an example. The Rogue Imbue gives you something to do. The Rogue Imbue gives you something to do if you have Spectral Cutlass up. Right? And this goes great with Spectral Cutlass. And Spectral Cutlass isn't that bad. When you get a big Spectral Cutlass and you start swinging, it's crazy. The DK Imbue is almost unplayable. I think the DK Imbue is unplayable. I think it's against your general game plan and what you're trying to do. And I think it's taking away the strength of the class versus this where it's like, sometimes you want to do this, and you're not using your hero power anyway, and it's 1 mana. And every time you imbue, it costs 1 fewer each time. I don't know. Azalea with the massive raid. What's going on, Azalea? Eventuality. Deal 2 damage, imbue your hero power? Yeah, I'll take that. Winged Aberration. Okay. I don't know if we've gotten any kind of... Massive raid. I hope things are going well learning TFT. I don't know if we've gotten any clarification. Do you get overloaded for 2 if the combo activates? Or do you always overload for 2 regardless of the combo? How am I doing? Doing the set review for right now. De-rusting TFT? Nice. Yeah, I don't know if I'd play a vanilla... Okay, you already have experience. Got you. I don't know if I'd play a 4-mana 4/4 rush. Even if it was a dragon. I think I would need the combo to be relevant. I think the Overload 2 is brutal. I think it's the former. Yeah. Okay, fine. I don't like it. I think it sucks. Shade of the End Time. Stealth +1 spell damage. That's kind of cute. You can hide your spell damage and then also deal 3 damage later. Do I run this on purpose? I don't know if I run it on purpose, but I think I'm okay with, like... I think I'm okay with discovering this. We already talked about the Wicked Blight Spawn. I would not play it in Rogue, personally. Definitely would not play it in Kingsbane, especially because it's like Death Rattle, but like, And it makes so much, this card, in the same way that the hero power, like this imbue hero power makes so much more sense in Rogue than DK's imbue hero power. This makes so much more sense in DK because not only is it reborn and it's getting you more corpses, but it like we already have a weapon that we probably want to buff up that will have like infinite damage forever. We have more efficient ways of adding +2 attack in Rogue. We don't have to wait for a death rattle. We can just slap deadly poison on things. So, I don't know. Weapon in Rogue, yeah, I don't know. I guess if we're being hipsters and we're playing Imbue Thief Rogue, we might play this, but I think we probably go for Cutlass instead. Shaman. Everybody pinged me and they said, Schmoopy, Haywire, Hornsworn, Frog Shaman, Frog Shaman, Frog Shaman. I don't think we play this in Frog Shaman. One of the things about Frog Shaman that is super important that it shares with Warsong Warrior is kind of like how Warsong Warrior desperately needs the number of minions that have a tribe to be low, or else you're not tutoring what you want to tutor. One of our best tutors for the Spirit of the Frog in Frog Shaman is Flight of the Firehawk. So we aren't necessarily overloading a lot in the early turns. So I don't think this minion is good for current Frog Shaman. That being said, if Ethereal Oracle is unnerfed and we're going back to what's the spell called? Flash of Lightning on 2, Ethereal Oracle on 3, drawing a shitload of spells, overloading a bunch, killing the Ethereal Oracle with Ancestors with Reincarnation, bringing it back, triggering the spell damage, drawing more cards. You could get this down on turn 3 pretty easily. I think that it would work. I don't know if it works in the current version that I play, but it's one for the future. It's not a bad card. I just don't know if it has a home right now. For all time, I think we'll see play for sure, especially in something like Big Shaman, where you're sitting back, and you're kind of at the mercy of aggro anyway. Eventually, you will punk aggro. This is just like a nice board clear that you could run that takes care of even Hosen boards. Right? At some point, Elemental Destruction doesn't even work anymore. This one certainly does. Whoa. Come on back. What the hell? No. Sorry. Okay. Unnerving. Thanks, Norton. All right, anyway. Yeah, I think I've said all I wanted to say. Maybe even Shaman, maybe not. 4 mana destroy all eggs on board and nothing next turn. I mean, yeah, okay, but like, what if it's not eggs? If you're up against eggs, Midnight Rider, you just play Devolve. So that's a stupid scenario. Just play Devolve, dumbass. Warlock. Battlecry set the cost of a random card in your hand to infinity. I see so many people being like, "Oh my God, Treachery Warlock! We could do the Ceaseless Expanse deck." Chat, what if this hits Treachery? I'm gonna get this fucking deck. I'm gonna have to play this card. It's gonna suck. Eternal Toll, deal 1 damage. If it survives, draw a card. If it dies, summon 1 cost minion. Hey, chat, look, they brought back Slam. Taunt, Battlecry. If your hero took damage this turn, gain +3/+3. Good in Arena, not good here. I would not do that. Battlecry, give all minions and weapons in your hand +2 attack. This isn't bad on curve, I guess. I wouldn't do it. I don't know what I want to play this in. In theory, it's not the worst card in the world. I would rather it have +2/+2, obviously, for obvious reasons. Chargers would be kind of okay. Weapons, it's kind of weird. I I'm just gonna say it's weird and move on. It's a very warrior card. Yeah, the warrior cards look like warrior cards. Probably unplayable. What's the treachery combo? I don't get it. You take Soulbound Ash Tongue and you treachery over Soulbound Ash Tongue to your opponent, and any damage that Soulbound Ash Tongue takes ends up being transferred to the hero that controls it. So you play Wing Welding and you discard Ceaseless Expanse, and 125 or 100 damage or 120 damage, whatever, hits the Soulbound Ash Tongue and kills the opposing hero. So if you set it to infinity, you hit them for infinity. All right, neutral minions. I'm gonna save End Time Marazon for the end. More chi. Your Weavrind keeps both potential outcomes. I think this could actually be like sneaky okay in Arena. I don't know any deck that actually deals with like rewind in any organized manner on purpose ever. So, Crumble Crusher, Arena card. I don't see it in Constructed whatsoever. Omen of the End. Wild players are going to scramble all over themselves trying to make this card work. I think it's shitty ticketus, and I'm going to have to play it a bunch, but it's not good. It's a 5-mana 5/5 with 0 text until your deck is empty, guys. It's not good. This card's good, though. The Slither Drake. Elusive costs 3 less if you're holding another dragon. We could play, like... we could play Whelp on 2 in Druid, and on turn... or we could coin Whelp, and then on turn 2, drop a 6/9... if we have another dragon in hand. This might spawn like an old school needs taunt, does not need taunt. This looks like to me like guys remember like in Biggin mid-range dragon druid in Descent of Dragons? Like this could spawn one of those types of decks. Like we've got some pretty good mid-range dragons now. Like, is it going to be meta playable? No. Is it going to be hipster playable? Yeah, probably. I'd probably build that deck. I will probably build that deck and play that deck and enjoy that deck. All right, let's go back to this guy. Okay. I know what you're going to say, chat. I know what you're going to say. You're going to say End Time Marazon sucks. But have you considered this? We fill our board with random dragons. We fully heal our hero. We skip a turn. What if we pair this with Timeout? Timeout's text reads, until your next turn, your hero is invincible. So we play Timeout, we drop this guy down, and we say, okay, opponent, you deal with it. And they have to trade into your board over 2 turns. Another possible application. We're a Mill Druid. We've gained armor, we've gained armor, we've gained armor, we've gained armor. We drop this. We've already played like 5 copies of Due Process. We say, okay, opponent, fight through any taunts that we've developed. We have 80 health. Kill us over 2 turns. Good luck. Oh, by the way, you're drawing twice as much anyway, and you're in fatigue. So, like, I could see this having some, like, meme application. Is it a good card? No. Is it, like, auto dust? Probably if you're on a budget. Yeah, absolutely. If you're somebody like me that just sort of like wants to play with the cards and mess around with the card, sure. I think this is actually like probably I will win with this. I don't see it in practice. I will win with this card. I will lose to this card. That doesn't make it a good card, but just like there are some applications to it that I think people are not looking for, people are not aware of, right? And like you will find some creative ways to, mess around with this card. Anyway. So let's do like a little bit like, in totality, each class. I think DK and Foam Render period. Let's do a quick little thing for a quick little like short, right? DK gets early stats and gets to buff their Foam Render for infinity. The Imbue sucks. Demon Hunter gets like mini UI and early stats and draw. Enduring Roach is going to be a card that you got to kind of keep an eye on for the long time. Paladin gets to cast their CTA a little early. I don't believe in the Treant card. Hunter didn't get a set. Mage Got some interesting survival tools. Secret Mage got a fun new toy. A little bit of lifesteal. Draw engine while you're blowing up your opponent's stuff. That's pretty cool. Fun like spell damage. Mage probably got the best set, actually. Paladin got a funny OTK and a little bit of ramp. Priest got a new board clear and a draw engine. And, oh, a little bit of survivability. Rogue got a funny hero power for Cutlass Rogue. Hey, Shaman got a card for the future and I think a good board clear. Warlock got the most busted card in the set in the Chrono Clause. The quest is irrelevant. Warrior got warrior cards. And the neutrals, we got a giant stat bomb early. And if you enjoy this content, please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing on my YouTube channel.